the release of our new documentary Melt Up, which received 500,000 views in less than 3 weeks, the U.S. national debt has risen to over $13 trillion. During the recent weeks, the Dow Jones has declined by over 500 points, with the price of gold holding strong above $1,200 per ounce. The Dow-Gold ratio is now down to 8.4, a new low for 2010. NIA believes the Dow-Gold ratio could decline to as low as 7 in 2010 and down to 1 by the time the upcoming hyperinflationary depression is over. With stocks in decline, the mainstream media has shifted from saying we are experiencing an economic recovery to now saying we are at risk of a double-dip recession. NIA has said in Melt Up that if stocks were to see a nominal decline one last time, we will likely see Bernanke shoot up his largest ever dose of quantitative easing, which could turn the current Melt Up into hyperinflation. We are seeing signs of this coming true already. Larry Summers, senior economic advisor to President Obama, has asked Congress to begin drafting a new $200 billion stimulus bill. Most attention on Wall Street today is still being paid to the debt crisis in Europe. The European Union and IMF recently put together a 110 billion euros package for Greece. If you do a search on Google for Greece debt crisis, there are now 16.5 million web results and 1,600 news results. If you do a search on Google for US debt crisis, there are only 591,000 web results and only 15 news results. This is pure insanity. The U.S. has a GDP that is 41 times larger than Greece, and our debt crisis is much worse. The only reason Greece is being forced to deal with their debt crisis a lot sooner than the U.S. is Greece doesn't have access to a printing press that they can use on their own. While Greece, Spain, and Italy are now taking the necessary steps to cut spending and reduce their deficits to a smaller share of GDP, the U.S. posted an $82.69 billion budget deficit for April, up 295% from 1 year ago and more than twice what most economists were forecasting. Even former Federal Reserve Chairman Paul Volcker is now warning that the time is growing short for the U.S. to address its budget deficit. The U.S. dollar index is now at a 52-week high of 87. Which Federal Reserve Chairman Bernanke believes gives him the license to keep interest rates near zero and print money. Canada's central bank just raised its interest rates from 0.25% to 0.5%. But the Federal Reserve has shown no indication that it will raise interest rates anytime soon, with its last interest rate increase taking place all the way back in June of 2006. Canada's economy is now one of the soundest in the world due to the soaring demand for copper, gold,